All right, and welcome everyone to IFB Interfleet Broadcasting. Glad that you're with us, and it's our Thursday live show. I'm New York Pete, and I'm here with the Tipsy Toaster. Hey, Chris, what's up?
Severe lag on your end.
Severe. Wow, imagine
I think
that.
so.
When was the last time that happened?
I don't know. It's definitely looks like it's lagging. I don't know. Somebody can throw us some.
I don't know. What do you think? It's internal, external. It could be
Let me
multiple
refresh.
type of problem.
Refresh your call.
Yeah. Okay. So that might help, right? That would be very, very helpful if that's a quick fix. We've been having a bunch of minor technical issues going on, guys. It's a live show. We get all these things that happen all the time. So just welcoming everyone to Interfleet Broadcasting. I hope you're having a wonderful science fiction filled day. There's plenty of great sci fi to watch, read, a few movies here and there. Greetings to everybody, Charlene and Lola and Paul. Dave Francoeur, what's up? I just saw your picture on you're drinking out of a particular glass. I'm going to look real quick at it as I'm here live. Oh, Battlestar Galactica. Look at that. He's drinking out of his Apollo glass, and he caught a picture of us on the screen that he's using to watch. Thanks, Dave. Thank you so much for, hooking up and watching and, supporting. Really appreciate it. Chuck, of course. Chuck, you're back with us. And, of course, George G's in the house. Thanks for joining us, George, watching live with us. Paul Rotter's here. Someone's jamming this frequency of the radar. Possible. It's always possible. Those tin heads are always at doing something
Can
up
someone
to no good.
text me and let me know if the Pete's picture is not lagging?
Oh, Lola says your lips aren't moving.
Pete's lips are not moving. Correct. Pete's lagging like
Yeah.
a lot. I hear you,
Yeah.
but you are like 3 or 4 minutes behind.
Wow, that's pretty bad.
You want
Don't know what
to
that's going.
try
Woof.
disconnecting and reconnecting?
I can do that. All right. So
All right.
let me fall away while you guys take care of some business. How's that?
I don't know. Let's see if I can get. Let's see if I can get up and running on my end. So Pete will be frozen for right now. I look like deer caught in a headlight because we've had an interesting night tonight. I'm in the process of moving, and evidently
I'm back.
I broke something. Talk.
You broke everything. Is it better?
You're a little laggy still.
Maggie, let me try one more time. This
No,
time
you're better, a lot better.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know
All
if
right.
it's going to be much better, but
Do you want me to go? You want me to try it again? I can do that.
we can try. Let's try with John here real quick. Make sure it's
All right.
just.
Let's see how John's doing.
not the
John, how are
system.
you?
Hey guys, how you doing? How's things?
Good.
How am I?
are you?
You're
Good.
perfect.
Good.
Okay.
I see my head moving.
You're on time.
All right.
Your timed out was perfect. Pete is just delayed.
He's like the Saturday afternoon kung fu movies.
That's it. He is a little delayed tonight.
Oh wow. How's moving?
Oh, it's a nightmare right now. If anybody wants to donate, go to buy me a coffee because I just torched a hard drive. So
Oh, I know that feeling. I know that
Pete's,
feeling.
Pete's much faster now. Let's see.
I think I'm back, right? Am I
Yeah,
back?
you're
Is
much
it good or
better,
not?
and you're
Yeah.
synced up now.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, I just went through that just a little while ago. I lost another drive, an SSD drive, but that's part of technology, guys. That's the modern world we live in. As a matter of fact, John, you have a whole intro for us. You do your update with various things that are pop culture and genre. Welcome again, everybody, to Interfleet Broadcasting. And this is our little corner of the universe where the Tipsy Toaster and myself, New York Pete, and our big team of a specialized team of operators, including John01, our associate producer and anchor, Tiny Bean, Tara, and we have regulars that come on every month to give us updates on all kinds of sci-fi specials and updates and genres. So if you're ready, John and Chris, if you can bring them up, we have a whole update on what's going
You're gonna
on
have to give
in the
me a minute.
world. Okay. All right. Now we could give you 2 minutes. How's that? I
All
hope
right.
some of you I hope some of you actually caught our new segment. We have IFB exclusive, and we'll be doing that probably once a month going forward until that might amp up. But we will be bringing back some of our guests that have, exclusive news to share with us. We had Mr. or Dr. Chris McCauley came on and announced all kinds of special
Oh, wow,
scoops.
yeah.
They were exclusives to IFB. If you haven't watched it, it's a 30-minute segment. It went up just a little while ago. Take a look at that, and you'll find out all about what he's up to. And he's involved in a lot of well-known established franchises, as well as the ones that he's been working on, like Stokerverse and, Terminator and some of those other ones. So just guys, just be a little more patient. We're trying to fine tune some of the live broadcast issues that once in a while creep up. But again, welcome to Interfleet Broadcasting, and we have an excellent. I was gonna say pretty good. We have an excellent show. We have a fantastic visual effects artist, Mr. Walton waiting in the wings to come on and tell us all about his work. And when we tell you and share with you some of the stuff that he's worked on,
Oh,
you're going to be blown away. I mean,
amazing.
I was like, you worked on that and you worked on this and this and this and this, and it's just fantastic. So he's going to be with us. Also, he's going to be announcing the fact that he's got a book that'll be coming out. So we want to make sure that everybody is up to speed with that as well. And I don't know, John, I know that you spent some time putting together your presentation tonight for your
Yep.
segment, and I help kind of organize it a little bit, and it looks great, man. You got a lot of really really cool stuff going on, and I don't think, Chris, that's not it. Just so I don't know if you're
That's not it. I
testing
know.
your.
I'm trying to.
Okay, all right,
Oh, what is
just
it?
making sure. Making sure that we don't pull up one from like season 2. But yeah, it's speaking of seasons, John, we're season
Yeah.
4, and tonight happens to be episode 21, and so we're very
Wow.
very happy that that's a part of what we do. As a matter of fact, John, you and I were
Yeah.
kind of having a conversation on what the convention scene is going to be looking like for us. You know that we're going to AwesomeCon. AwesomeCon gave us a booth. And so
Okay.
we are committed, and we are definitely going to be going out to DC, and we're going to meet up with some of you. Some of you have reached out, and I think Dave and a couple others are probably going to be there. As a matter of fact, Diana Durango, co-stars in The Stranded Warrior, is going to be going
Oh,
to convention in Tampa, and I know that Charlene and Lola will also be at that convention. So make sure you guys stop in and see Diane and say hello. She'd be very happy to see you guys. And I don't know, we're just looking forward to taking advantage of all the things that are happening, John. I think no,
a
there's a
lot of
lot
good
of
things that
cons
happen going to
coming
happen
up.
this year. Yeah.
Right.
A lot
Yeah,
of cons.
yeah,
We're kind of ready.
You got shore leave this summer, so it's
yeah.
and
Far
Dragon
Point,
Con.
right? Yeah.
Farpoint.
Dragon Con, of course. Oh yeah. Okay, Chris Laskowski's with us from down under. Let me see. Let's see what's going on. Dave, hello from Berlin, New Hampshire. Chuck, hey
All right.
folks, he's over on the West Coast. Let's see, Paul, Zach, Jordan. Hey, Zach, what's up, man? It's good to see you. Thanks for being checking in on us live. Pete is lagging 2 minutes behind. I hope we fix that. This is a couple minutes old, I believe. Lola says it's spooky. Lola says hi. Yep. And
It's just Pete, right? Everyone.
Yeah.
I think it's
think
probably
so.
just me. Yeah. Yes, streaming from Japan again. That's right.
All right, John, I'm gonna ready whenever you are.
All right. All right, guys. Whenever you're ready. All right. You all set?
There we go. We're set.
All right. Hello, everyone. We got some good stuff for you tonight. I hope so. So let me know. First off, in theaters, a introverted spy novelist is drawn into the real world of espionage when she meets a real life character, and they bring her into like the real spy movie. It's a comedy, spoof. It looks pretty funny. Henry Cavill plays the lead character. He's in everything. So pretty soon he's gonna be Warhammer next year. So he's working on that now.
Yay.
It's an all-star cast, and my money is on the cat. It's being a scene stealer. See Argyle, February 2nd. That's tomorrow in theaters. Looks pretty funny. It's a good time. It's like a lady finds out that everything she's writing is real and all that stuff. So it's pretty funny. Looks pretty funny. It's like Tom, what's the guy? That director, Ron Howard's daughter is in it. She plays the. I forgot her name.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, she's pretty good. So it's pretty funny. So I'll enjoy it. And our next movie takes us to the Stone Age, about a band of humans trying to find a new place to live. It's like 45,000 years ago, and they're going across the tundra, and then some kind of monster is stalking them and killing them. It's like a horror movie in the Stone Age. It looks pretty good. It looks pretty interesting. The director did a lot of work on it, like the outfits and the language, so he did a lot of archaeological work. So I guess he did his research. But I like to see cavemen fighting off monsters, so that's always good. That's going to be see if they'll survive. That's going to be called Out of Darkness, and that'll be in theaters February 9th. So it looks pretty good. And Sony has just confirmed they are developing an R-rated Spider-Man movie. It's going to be animated, so it's even more gory. So that's pretty cool. Even Venom didn't get the R. So I'm looking forward to it. They're in development now, so we'll see what happens. Comics are getting grittier. About time Marvel's catching up. Like Craven coming out this fall, and Madam Web. It's about a clairvoyant mutant who protects three powerful women. I guess they have Spidey powers, and there's like an old universe of people have turned into Spider-Man, and they're being stalked by an adversary who kind of looks like a murderous Spider-Man. So it looks pretty good. This is going to make up for the Marvels, which was critically panned. And by the way, the Marvels will be out February 7th on Disney Plus if anyone's going to watch it. We don't have to pay, so I guess we'll be watching on Disney Plus. If it's that bad, I'll just walk out of my room. Click. I'll have to pay the $9. So that's going to be on Disney Plus. And given enough time, everything becomes a series. Everything is a series now. Mr. and Mrs. Smith series. It's about two strangers that land a job in a spy agency that offers wealth, travel, fun, and the only catch is that the identities are changed and they're arranged marriage with each other. So see Mr. and Mrs. Smith out on Amazon tomorrow, February 2nd.
Is that a remake of the other?
Yeah, it's a remake of it's a series based on the movie with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie.
That was a good movie.
So it was pretty good. So this might look pretty funny. So I might watch it. They get paid to be spies, but they're married to each other. So I guess like the comedic Americans, so, which is a really good series. So that's pretty good. It's going to be out tomorrow on Amazon Plus. And the Greys are coming back. Oh my, that's my George Takei homage because he is in it to get Harry in season 3 of Resident Alien.
Yes. You don't have sci-fi. This is a reason to get sci-fi.
Yep. This is Alan Tudyk is hilarious in it, and there's only going to be 8 episodes for this season. So I don't know. I mean, because of the writer's strike or whatever, but they're probably going to make it up for the next season. But that's going to be out on February 14th. So all you lovers out there, take her out to see Resident Alien. Make her dinner. And that's going to be pretty good. So this series started on Netflix, and the characters were great. Daredevil, which is a really good series, just got brought up by Disney. And since the writer's strike, they weren't going to put these two actors in, but they brought them back because they're good actors. Karen Page and Foggy are to return to the cast. So I'm happy for that. They work in the office. They help Daredevil and stuff. And they're going to help him fight the bad guy in the Bullseye in the Daredevil Reborn series, which is coming out later on this year. He's going to fight Bullseye and Kingpin. So they're already getting ready. They're already on the set. So that's in production now. So in the upcoming series. And the first season of Halo was okay. It was kind of all right. I forced myself to watch it, but looks like the season 2 is going to be even better. So more action, more fighting. That's what we want to see from a video game. And the Master Chief is back, and the watching trailer for Halo 2. So hopefully that's coming out on February 8th on Amazon, on Paramount. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that one looks good.
So hopefully that's going to be.
I liked Halo. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. The puppets, the aliens were pretty good, and okay, kind of like boring in a bit. Last 2 episodes better. So this trailer looks even more. So when they go after him and fight him, so I want to see action, fighting. That's what I want to see. But we'll see. Hopefully that's going to be good. And now I'm definitely convinced there are some really good sci-fi fans over at Apple TV. We have 3 new series coming our way. So the first one is called Constellation. It's about an astronaut who goes into space. Something happens, like a disaster, and she comes back, and she finds out like she lost part of her pieces of her life are missing. So she's trying to piece them together before she goes mad, and she doesn't know if she's still on a spaceship or back on Earth, or she's trying to figure it out. So that's going to be on Apple Plus on February 21st. It's Naomi Rapace, who's with the girl in the dragon tattoo. I think she was in Aliens. So she's a pretty good sci-fi actress. So it's going to be good. And the next series is called Murderbot.
Yes.
This just got the green light. So it's about a security droid that hacks himself and gives himself free will, and he has to hide it from the company, or they'll destroy him. And he hates people, but he just wants to be left alone and watch soap operas. And it's based on the critically acclaimed series Murderbot. Was it Murderbot Chronicles?
Sounds like
from
Silence,
that
yeah.
author. It's about what is it? It's based on the Murderbot from Arthur Wells. She was the author. I tried getting her, but she's really hard to get, so I'm working on her. So she's a Murderbot Diaries. So this was just got a green light. So look for it maybe next year coming out. And the last one is Dark Matter. Joel Edgerton is a physicist who was pulled into a parallel dimension while his doppelganger takes over his life in this world. So he tries to fight back to get to his world, and his doppelganger just controls his life. So that looks pretty interesting. So there's no word yet when it's going to be released, but it should be out later this year or early next winter. And that's Dark Matter. So last but not least, for any of you collectors out there, check out the Garden State Trading Card Show this February 10th and 11th in Secaucus, New Jersey. Vic Mignola will be there. He's from Star Trek Continues. I'm trying to get him to get on the show, so we're still working on it. So trying to get date.
Too.
He did the voice, yeah. Dragon Ball Z, a couple of anime series. So really cool guy. So hopefully we'll try to get him on the show soon, and that'll be good. And we have really great guests waiting to talk to us. So that'll be it for me. If anyone has any info or trailers or any information you want to lead on, email me lonecenturion1@gmail.com, and everyone have a good night.
Yay, thanks.
And that's
Let's see if Pete is caught up now. Pete,
Nope.
you're still alive.
Oh, I had longer pages than I thought.
Pete,
Slow and steady.
Hey, Pete, check to see if you shut all your other processes down in your computer on the bottom right-hand side. Pete? Either Pete's saying a prayer or we lost him.
He's frozen up there.
My guess is he's still broadcasting on the other one that we had earlier, so he's splitting his bandwidth somehow. He needs to shut his computer down and restart it. It's probably stuck on StreamYard.
Yeah, that's a pretty tough thing to get off that StreamYard. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it doesn't work that far. So
yeah. So anyways,
that was good
we're waiting for Pete to finish praying.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave it there too. I am drinking tonight, and I really need to be drinking more than this beer tonight. That's for darn sure. But I have went and found Bourbon Barrel Quad.
Oh. Wow. What's that from? That was pretty good.
That is.
What's the point? What's the?
What's what?
What's the alcohol content?
Well, this is probably the highest alcohol content of all the beers I've had. This is 12.2.
Oh, wow.
And it
That's good.
tastes amazing, by the way. I had it on draft over at the MGM here in DC and fell in love with it. So it's really good.
Oh.
So I'm going to pop
Was it
the
like a
cap on that.
dark beer?
Yeah, it's a dark. I don't have a glass tonight, but let's hope it doesn't explode on my computer because that'd be the last thing I need. There we go. Smells good. Smells bourbon-y. Definitely smells like bourbon. So, anyways, you got anything tonight?
I just had my iced tea right here. I didn't have my drink, so I couldn't get to put in the
Long
freezer
Island
yet.
iced tea, I see. Typical New
Yep.
Yorker. You're not in Long Island right now, but it'll work. That's a little dirty.
Yeah, it's I put a lemonade and a little bit of
That's an
drink in there,
Arnold
so.
Palmer, then.
Yeah, it's like an organic lemonade. It's not that clear.
All right,
Healthy with my booze.
Yeah. So, anyways, thank you for joining us. I'm sorry for a couple of the delays we're having with Pete, but we're praying. Well, at least he's praying that it comes back online, and we'll get that fixed up. And if not, we'll push forward with John leading the interview, and we can do that.
Okay.
So, but anyways, the first thing we do every Thursday, we really appreciate you being here. We are Battlestar Galactica centric, but a sci-fi 80s, 70s, 90s pop culture broadcast. We are just past 25,000.
25. Yeah, I just found out today. That's amazing. It's amazing.
Wow. And now I'm like stage fright. But anyways, we like to thank everybody out there. So it's really important that we recognize the fans because they are the ones that make the fandom and make everything happen. I mean, if we've got people who are writers, they make the worlds. We have people that are actors, they bring the characters to life. But it's really the fans of these people that keep the legacy alive. And as tonight, you'll see the artistry tonight is just amazing. And that fuels the fans as well, because I mean, without that visual, then the movie's not there for them. I mean, you can read books; those are great. The authors are amazing, but as you progress to different avenues of telling a story, from books to art to video, all those people are involved, but it all boils down to one group of people, and that's the fans. It's because the fans are the most important piece, because they're the ones that make these things continue. So we always say, here's to you. We cheer
Fans fuel the fleet.
because fans fuel the fleet. So
Fans fuel the fleet.
oh, that's strong. that's amazing. 12%. So that's 24 proof.
Oh.
Right?
Oh, man.
12%, double the
12%.
percentage. That's the proof. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
24%. 12. That's 24. Wow.
That's a kick.
There's some rums.
That's
out
a nice.
there
That's nice.
24 proof or 35 proof. This is pretty close. And there's a lot of it. I need it tonight, trust me, because when I went to I went to the start up the base star at the apartment, and I started the base star, and it said, "You don't have a hard drive." And I'm like, "Yes, I do."
Oh.
Yes, I do. I have a hard drive. I have like 6 of them. So I was like, I'll just restart it. Comes up, please select a bootable hard drive. I was like,
Oh.
And then I started selecting bootable hard drives, and none of them would boot. The boot drive is dead. So that means
Oh man.
I got to take the computer apart practically to get to it, and that's going to be fun. So meanwhile, we're going to be running on the laptop here, and preferably maybe with some better internet next week. But evidently, we're having a little bit of an issue with Pete's internet, and that's not my fault. That's New York. So if Pete would, has Pete texted you? I haven't seen a text. Oh, wait a minute, I have a text. This will be fun.
Let's see.
This will be really fun. Let's see. What does Pete have to say? Pete has to say nothing. He says, I'm going to sign off and reboot my computer.
Oh yeah.
Needless
He
to
said,
say,
keep going, and then if you read this, I'm out of commission on my end. Let Tipsy know. Take over for me. All right, Pete.
Pete, you have a phone.
You heard it first, ladies and gentlemen.
You have a phone, Pete. You don't need the computer. You can get on here with the phone. Matter of fact, our guest is using a phone tonight, I do believe. So, Pete, just use your phone and dial it the same number. You'll be fine. Meanwhile, I'm going to continuously drink to fill time. Just kidding. Drink because I need it. Excuse me. Yeah, so this is not the quality production we normally have, so I do apologize to our guest and the people that are watching. We're working on our end and making it function correctly the best we can. So anyways, let me set you up with our guest interviewer, and that'll be fun. Let's do it this way. That's a 4-person. Let me give a 3-person. Give me 1 second. I'll set you up with the 3-person. Well, just do this one and remove Pete until he comes back. There we go. There's that. And then we'll move you up a little bit. Sorry, everybody. Give me 1 second.
Wow.
Dang it.
I got Mr. Walton's movies.
Yeah, so do you want to start an introduction, and then while I'm fixing this?
Yes.
We'll make this.
We're happy to have a nice our guest, Mr. Harry Walton. Tonight, he was VX super specialist. He did a lot of animation, worked a lot of movies. He had a storied career and has a book coming out. And he agreed to come on our show for an interview. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Walton, welcome, Mr. Walton. How are you?
Oh, hang on.
Oh.
Quality, job 1. Let me get now we can hear him. Go ahead, Mr. Walton. I'm sorry. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, Mr.
Hi.
Walton.
There you go.
Oh.
Yes.
Hello.
I'm here. What's going on?
Oh, you name it. It's not going well this evening, but it's going. That's a great thing about
Can you
live.
hear me okay?
Yeah, your sound amazing.
Yes. Yep. You sound good. Thank you for coming on. We just wanted we're looking at your movies here. You had a long career. I mean, you did a lot of stuff. Wow.
Yep, been around for a while. Yep, I've been around for a while.
I grew up on. I watched a lot of shows. You worked on David and Goliath, Land of the Lost. A lot of stop motion animation. Is it? It's maybe even RoboCop. Wow. How long have you been doing this for?
Well, I started professionally in 1968, 2 years out of high school. Yeah,
Wow.
First job was Davy and Goliath and the Gumby series.
Oh, Gumby too. Wow, I didn't see Gumby.
Gumby?
Did you have a lot of Gumby too? Yeah. Did you have a lot of I didn't see that coming either. Uh, did you work with Harryhausen? You did a lot of animation like Harryhausen. Did you work with Mr. Harryhausen?
No, I almost got to work with him on his last movie. His producer Charles Schneer interviewed me to work on Clash of the Titans, but for various reasons that didn't happen.
Mhm.
But
Wow.
yeah,
And
he was my my inspiration.
Yeah, I was about to ask, is who was
yeah,
what made you want to do this?
Yeah, Ray Harryhausen, Willis O'Brien, the man who brought you King Kong in 1933,
Oh, that's
and
yep.
awesome.
Gene Warren Sr., who was my mentor for 5 years, and a lot of other people. Tex Avery, King of Cartoons.
Thanks, Avery. Droopy cartoons were the best. They still are. And so you grew up watching. You saw King Kong in the theaters. So you want to be an animation, stop motion animation guy. I mean, is the
Did,
is which was your favorite one? Was your hardest project you did on that?
Well, the hardest project for me was probably RoboCop 2.
really?
Because we had so many shots in there and I had a lot of responsibilities. I had optical responsibilities, making the projection plates. The way we did a lot of those shots was rear projection. We'd project up the live action on the stage on a miniature screen,
Mhm.
and we can run the film one frame at a time. And then in front of the projected image of the live action, we would put like the creatures, like the Robocop character or Kane. And then he gets animated frame by frame, and you advance the rear projection of the live action a frame at a time. And both of those images are combined in camera, and it looks like one piece of film. So that's many of the ways that I work is with rear projection and animation, combining the animation with live action.
About to
And there
start
wasn't any
writing
green
That
this.
rooms back then, or green.
Yeah.
It was all different, right?
No, there was blue. We usually blue screen opticals. Sometimes we'd shoot things in front of a blue screen, and that would be composited in the optical printer.
Okay. Wow. So that was
So, did you like go to school for this, or did you study under somebody?
No, when I started, there really was no school for this. I mean, the only school there was USC cinema department. But other than that, I picked up things from magazines like Famous Monsters of Filmland magazine. I would pick up on articles and how Ray Harryhausen was doing certain effects. And then I had my own 8 millimeter, 16 millimeter movie cameras, and I would
hmm,
experiment making my own little creatures at home and shooting animation, trying to shoot a frame at a time, but usually a camera that I had didn't have a single frame motor. I'd press the button and let it go real quick, and I would usually get 2 or 3 frames. So a lot of
hmm.
experimenting on my own and learning what I could from certain magazines.
Yeah, we were.
Then I eventually got jobs from the masters in the industry, master apprenticeship type relationships.
Did you grow up around the area, or did you move to the area to get closer to
Well,
movie
I
stuff?
I was born in Hicksville, Long Island, New York, probably out
Oh,
in your area, the neighborhoods.
Out by me.
And who?
by
Out by
John.
me. I live in Smithtown. So
Oh, okay. And when I was 11 years old, we moved out to California. So in 1959. So and then out in California, of course, I had access to, you know, as I grew older, I had access to some of the studios that did these, movies with special effects and animation.
so, so when you said you had to work on a lot of your own shots, are they still being like pioneering shots in the industry now? Like when your work, are they still doing that now, or have you like made like special equipment to shoot animation, or like, and I said they put like cameras on there, and they move the picture like one piece, 1 inch at a time, or have you like innovated? Like
Yeah,
done a lot of
you
innovation?
Yeah, I would you'd have cameras like Mitchell and Bell and Hill Acme cameras that were made. They would actually which were made for shooting live action as well as animation. So we put animation motors on the 35 millimeter, say Mitchell cameras, and then in the studio we'd also have special projectors that I was mentioned before that would project up live action one frame at a time as large as you wanted it in the studio. So, and we
Oh,
had that, and we had the lights and all kinds of special equipment that we used, to produce the animation.
and you
So it was, very specialized, and so we had to, learn how to do all these techniques, and which
wow.
we used, and not only in movies but in television commercials as well.
You did you worked on Nightmare Before Christmas too, correct?
Yeah, Nightmare Before Christmas. And I'll rattle off a bunch of stuff real quick. The Hollow Man, James and the Giant Peach, Nightmare Before Christmas, all three RoboCops, Honey I Shrunk the Kids, Willow,
Wow.
Young Sherlock Holmes, The Golden Child, Howard the Duck, Hook, Star Trek 4, Star Trek 6, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Ghostbusters 2, Memoirs of an Invisible Man, Inner Space, The Abyss, Terminator 2, Bugsy, Never Say Never Again, which was a James Bond movie,
Yes.
Dark Star, Legend of Hillbilly John, Laser Blast, and quite a few others.
Oh wow.
And then for television stuff, I worked on a lot of Pillsbury Doughboys,
Oh my
Swiss
gosh, you did
Miss,
Hamburger Helper.
Hamburger Helper.
Purina Chuckwagon, the Fantasy Island TV series, the Hamburger Helper character which I created, Land of the Lost that you know about, Davy and Goliath, Johnny Quest.
Johnny Quest. Wow, a great cartoon. Which one
Yeah.
did you like better? Did you like doing the animation scenes more, or the special effects? I mean, like
Well,
like Land of the
I
Lost
did
compared to
others.
RoboCop.
There's like on RoboCop, I was doing like 8 different things. My main thing was doing stop motion animation on RoboCop, but I also
Mhm.
produced the optical, again, the projection plates. I made my own setups, did my own camera work, um, and
What
yeah,
was your most hardest
three or
project?
four other things.
Which one
Well,
was
the
the one that most?
hardest product was RoboCop 2. It was a huge show, and again, I had a lot of responsibilities on that.
Uh,
So.
that must have been a good movie, but that must have been a lot of work. That's a lot of stuff. I mean,
Yes.
what are you doing? What are you working on now? I mean, you do anything now, or
No, I'm retired now, but I'm working on the books. As you know, I just completed my Land at a Lost book, and now I'm working on the book about my career, which will probably take about another year and a half.
oh, all right.
Very
And
cool. Land of the Lost book.
Because that's I mean, I'll be going over not only my whole career, but a lot of people in the industry that I worked with as well. So, and I have like over 4,000 photos that I've taken over the years on all these projects. So I have a lot of photos for the books to, draw
Oh,
upon.
cool.
that's really cool. And the Land of the Lost book, do you know when that's coming out? I mean, is it's just your work on the series, or it's the characters on it? What
It's
does?
the book.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, I hope to have the book out this year sometime. So, I'm currently looking for publishers.
Well, all right.
Yeah, it should be
And
this year.
it's a Grumpy. Grumpy's on the cover, right? That's what it's
Yeah,
called.
Wow. Yeah, that's
Grumpy's
right.
on the cover.
yeah.
Grumpy
I just,
grew up.
I think when we had first met up on the just for the initial test for the call, I was telling you how when I was a kid, I tried to do the stop motion with a 35 millimeter camera with our models with a buddy of mine. We built all these car models, and we wanted to make our Fast and Furious movie. I wish I could find that. It's got to be somewhere so I can digitize it. But we took the cars and we put them on the ground, and then we would rotate the tires a little bit, and then hit the button real fast and let go, and hit the tires a little bit, hit the button real fast and let go. They would add cotton to the back where the car would be like
Yeah.
burning out, and then we would use charcoal on the ground as they move forward. And I don't know whatever happened to that. It was we did a whole 35 millimeter, and then you got it developed, and you found out that it was just jerky and it never matched up right. And some jerks were longer than others, and it was fun though. I mean, a buddy of mine and I had a really good time trying that out. But that was my foray into the stop motion, and needless to say, I did not cake up that career.
Yeah, that's how we all started, just messing around with clay and whatever we could come up with, in the house, and shooting it with the 8 and 16 millimeter cameras. And that's how Ray Harryhausen started off. You should see his original home movies, very, very crude.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you happy to still see that there's still claymation used now, especially now with CGI, AI, everything, and people still go back to claymation? I mean, it's a
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah. It's
enjoyable,
nice to still
enjoyable
see
thing to watch.
claymation, stop motion is still being done. Yeah. There's, the company in England, Aardman Animations, they make those huge, huge productions, and Henry Selick as well. He's does all puppet stuff, and they're pretty big
I like
hits.
seeing it too.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of work goes into that. I mean, how many? If you were to put like a scene, about a 1 minute scene, how much movements do you have to do? Do you like
No,
move the?
one minute's a long time for 1 minute's a long
Yeah,
time for animation. I mean, I would say, I mean, I was just looking at some of my notes from this toolbox thing that I worked on. There was one shot in the toolbox that was, it was 9 seconds long, and that took me 24 hours to do a whole a whole
wow,
day, starting at 10 in the morning one day and finishing 10 or 11 in the morning the next day. And
that's
it depends on how many characters you have in the shot. If you have, like A Nightmare for Christmas, there's shots where we have like 15 characters in the shot. Well, you spend days and days and days on getting one shot done.
and making sure they're all moving synchronously, and going back, and I guess you have to go back and see it playing over again and say, okay,
You're not
Mhm.
getting paid by the
Yeah.
hour.
yeah, that guy didn't move. We had to do it all over again. That must be like drive you
That's right.
crazy.
Definitely not
But it's
getting paid by
amazing.
the hour.
Yeah, that's a lot of work. I mean, that's I like it claymation. I've always had, so I know it's a lot of work for you guys
Yeah.
doing it, but and a lot of fans
And
do.
you
So
gotta
I'm
you gotta have
happy.
patience.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I could. I have a lot. I'd probably drink a lot, but it's definitely gets you going.
Oh,
You have
yeah,
to
we
do a
do
lot of
that
work.
too.
I was noticing one of the pictures. Hang on, I got to go back to them. Where they at? Where they? Give me 1 second. It
I
was.
saw him with a giant hawk. What is that? Is that the
No,
hawk
I
from
noticed, one of the pictures. At least you had your shirt off. I mean, it was like it must have been hot under the lights.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, it's hot animating on those lights. We would animate with shirts off quite often in the summertime. It's 110 degrees in the studio. You got all these lights burning,
Mm-hmm.
studio lights,
I'd
500
be afraid
watts and more.
that it would melt the clay. Yeah, it'd be
Yeah,
a
well,
lot of lights on it.
fortunately these models, like in what you're looking at, Land of Lost, they're not clay. They're foam rubber and
Oh,
metal
really?
armature skeletons.
I always thought they were clay.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. I thought they were clay.
No, this
And
is
how would they move?
This model is amazing.
well. There's called an armature. You have a metal ball and socket and hinged armature that's made inside. That's built inside the character, and then that's covered with foam rubber and then painted. So that's how
And
all
that's
this Land of the Lost, these dinosaurs, and all the stuff you see in here, they're all foam rubber characters.
So each one is individually constructed. Wow, that's a
Yes,
lot of time hours. That's pretty
that's the
cool.
James Bond movie, The Never Say Never Again, with the
That's the
Sean
opening.
Connery and the damsel in distress. In distress, they're on a horse and they jump off the castle wall, trying to escape the bad guys into the river.
Oh,
So that was.
how?
How does that work?
I'm sorry.
That was shot. The reason that looks red is because that was a reverse blue screen shot. They used special ultraviolet lights to pull mats off of this image, so it gets matted into the live action scene properly.
Cool.
Then I have to wear, as an animator, I have to wear ultraviolet glasses, goggles, because of the ultraviolet radiation on the
Oh,
lights.
There's
Yeah,
a hazard for the job.
yeah.
Which one's
Wow.
this one?
So that was an animated shot then falling into the water. Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
That's Nightmare
That's
Before Christmas. There you're looking at. That's
Oh yeah.
me animating. There's about 13 or 14 characters there that I'm animating.
Oh my god. Is there's got to be some
You move
mathematics
one
involved.
character and you go to the other character, and you got 10 or 12 appendages on each character that you have to move times 15.
I mean, how do you figure that out? Is there some mathematical formulas you use,
hmm.
or is it just
No, you just it comes with years of experience.
wow?
At least me, I develop a feel for the character. I can see in my mind, I know what each character is doing. Like when I touch the character, it sounds kind of crazy, but I can almost feel their performance.
My
Wow.
gosh. I mean, I would think there would be like a mathematical formula or a computer generated thing where you'd have to say, okay, you need to move this exactly 2 millimeters.
Yep.
No, it's all based on experience with the animator. Knowing how much. I mean, of course, the larger the move, the faster the character is moving. Smaller the move, vice versa. So over the years, you develop a feel of knowing, the performance of the character and how much to move it.
Oh man,
Wow.
it would be fantastic to be like. Have you done any
Well,
like Land of like outtakes for Land of the Lost or something like that, and they're the scene is there, and you actually describe how that scene is made, like on the DVD extras or anything like that? Because I mean, this is fascinating. I mean, this is something that people don't realize what artistry this is. I mean, you're telling me there's no mathematics or no rulers or whatever else involved in this, and you're just doing it because of experience. Wow, that's
Well,
fantastic.
if you
that's
get my if you get my Land of the Lost book, I explain all of that stuff in there.
Ah,
And then there have been behind the scenes footage that we've shot, showing us animators working.
wow. And
But
is it just
there's pretty good explanations in not only my books but in other books.
is it a team that you work with, or do you like to work alone more, or you know?
Well, it depends. Like at Skellington Productions on The Nightmare Before Christmas, there was a
Mhm.
team of like 10 animators. But when we're animating, you're animating pretty much by yourself on your own shots.
Oh,
And sometimes they have we've had like assistant animators where they would do some of the background characters. But
okay.
pretty much it's a one person animator working on a scene.
That
So
sounds
so one
backbreaking.
scene, you were in charge of like 5 or 6 people characters at one scene to move. I mean,
And this
But not
that's
on
wow.
Nightmare of Christmas.
that's
I wasn't in charge of anybody. I was just there as an additional animator.
But
And Henry Selick is the animation director.
when you were saying when you were doing the shots by yourself, you had to make sure all the characters you were working on moved at one time, and it was
Oh yeah,
you did all that. And, wow.
what was your what was
And
your
yeah.
first big break?
First big break was Gumby and Davy and Goliath.
Gumby and
It
David
was the
Goliath?
first film job.
Right. So, I mean,
Yeah.
was there like commercial jobs that you got before that, or what was your very first
No,
job?
that was my very first, animation film industry job was Gumby and Davy and Goliath.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how'd that come about? Did you audition for that, or?
Uh, well, I had found out from a friend of mine, Rick Baker, who is a top, makeup
Okay.
artist, special effects makeup artist in the industry. Rick Baker had got a job out this company called Clokey Productions in Glendora, California, and I had already known Rick. Rick and I had done stuff together with his makeup stuff at his house when we were still in high school. And he found out about the place out in Clokey Productions out in Glendora, and he told me about it. And I had some, my 8 millimeter and 16 millimeter movies that I had done animation experiments with, and I took my movies out there to the company and showed it to the owner, to Ruth Clokey, and the director Ray Peck. And I don't know, a few weeks later, they hired me to come, work out there at the studio.
Wow.
I mean, that's
Wow.
you've that
So
so
you start small, and worked my way up to the bigger companies, like on the Industrial Light and Magic.
wow. And then so the very first one you bought you did as a like I did like a Fast and the Furious type movie stop action. What was your very 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 first try? And do you still have it?
Well, can you pack up your bag, please?
My very first try. Are you saying
Very first
professionally
video,
or?
not professionally. You were trying this out as a as a novice. You just want to try this out, or you want to do it like I
Oh,
started out with like the Fast and Furious movie that I was talking about. What was your very first step into this?
my very first step film wise was again with an 8 millimeter movie camera, making a little little clay, uh, 4 foot four, excuse me, 6 inch high clay character. It was some kind of a two-legged monster with one eye, and I just animated that with my 8 millimeter camera on the kitchen floor at home. Again, one frame at a time, just moving across the floor. That was the very first animation that I did as an amateur.
Do you still have it?
The clay, now
I mean the video.
it all got all mushed up and destroyed.
Yeah. Do you still have the
Oh, the
video?
video, yeah,
Oh
yeah,
wow.
I still have the film somewhere.
That's that's great. That's the where you look at something when you very first started out. That's amazing. And then so how old were you when you did that?
Um, 14.
Wow.
Did,
So you
how
knew at an
did
early
you,
age this is what you wanted to do. I mean, that's good. I mean, you had a vision
I
and
mean, from
you did
about
it.
from 8 years old, after watching the horror and science fiction movies in the 50s that I grew up on, I was very interested in Forbidden Planet, and a lot of these science fiction horror movies are very prolific in the 50s, and those all got me interested in making monsters and making home movies, and then evolving into stop motion animation.
did your parents really support you in this, or who was your champion for this? Who you said you could do it?
Yeah, my mom was very supportive. She my dad died when I was in a car accident. He was
Oh,
killed when I was like about 5 years old. So I never really grew up with a dad. But my mom, she helped me. She got my first movie camera and some studio lights. And so she was always very supportive in helping me do that.
that's so cool. It's
Wow.
as parents myself or parents that we do have online, it's so important that you fuel your kids' passion. If there's a passion that they have, and you're there to support, that's fantastic. That your mom
Yeah.
actually helps
You
you.
know, as a young kid, I would go around in the neighborhood looking for soda bottles, and I'd collect all these soda bottles and then take them into the neighborhood corner store that I called it. And then I would get, whatever you get, 2 or 3 cents for a bottle, and a
Right.
big bottle you get 5 cents. And that's how I got a lot of my money. Plus, I got, some allowance, and then I would save that money and I would buy a roll of Kodak, 8 millimeter, 60 millimeter movie film. And then, every weekend, we get the neighborhood kids and we go out and we film crazy stuff.
I have a question on the claim engine. How do you dub the voices when like Dave like a lot Davey's talking and he's like talking, and how do you sync the voice when they're the mouth with the
Yeah,
words? I mean, is it hard or
the actors, the actors are recorded in a studio, and then back at our animation studio, Cloaky Productions, say we would get the recorded dialogue on a magnetic tape, and then our editor would go through the tape, and then he'd read the tape, and he would write down phonetically what the character was saying frame by frame. So we would have what was called exposure sheets, where you had lines on the sheets, and each line represented a frame of film. And then on that, he would break down the dialogue. So if the character was saying hello, he would write down HELLO. However long it took for the actor to say that, say it was hello lasted for 16 frames, then he would write down hello on the exposure sheet out for 16 frames. And then when we're doing our animation, we have that exposure sheet, and then we animate it to it, and we put little paper mouths. Like for David and Goliath, we had paper mouths that we put on the character, and we had all the mouth shapes that represented the vowels and the consonants for human speech. And so we'd match that up to what was recorded on our dialogue sheets.
Oh, now I get it. Now I remember.
now I see.
I
Wow.
see the video. I remember seeing the video, and now I see the paper. Oh, I understand.
Oh,
A light bulb, actually.
wow.
I can see it now. That's
Wow.
that's wow. I mean, who would have
Hey.
thought that? So much work to do that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah,
lot of
it's a
work.
lot
They
of
do that
precise work.
on Robot Chicken.
Yes.
They do that on the animation on Robot Chicken. You see the paper mouths on them. So,
Yeah. Yeah,
but
anytime
wow.
you have an animated character that's talking, you have to have dialogue that's been broken down onto some kind of an exposure sheets that the animator can see and animate to.
Yeah, I always want to know how they did that. How they had to put in animation. Like, okay, I see the voice, and how does the voice dub it? Now I understand.
Who
Wow,
was
hmm
that's pretty cool.
yeah? So
That must have been
yeah.
a
You
little hectic.
worked-
Like,
so
Yeah.
who was the? That's probably a bad way of saying this. Who was the most challenging director to work with, and who is the best director to work with? Ooh, put you on the spot. Sorry. What was your? What was the most? So instead of saying it that way, what director impressed you the most?
I would say uh, Ron Howard on Willow.
Really?
Yeah.
What was it made that? What did he do that impressed you the most?
Well, he was just, I mean, in dailies, he was very astute about what we were doing animation wise, and he had always had good sensible comments about how to make things work better. And So he was not only in tune, of course, with the live action, but also with the animation that we were doing.
Wow. So you
Hey.
guys like superimposed the brownies into the video and the monster, the dragon, and everything.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah,
Wow.
I wasn't on the brownies. I was working with the two-headed dragon,
Dragon. Wow.
the which we
That must
call
have
the
been tough making that.
Ebersisk. It was named the Ebersisk after Siskel and Ebert,
Oh,
the two talking
really?
heads.
Well, there's a there's a bit of trivia.
Yeah.
That's how it got its name.
Yep.
What
So
was the your hardest project? The one that said, "Oh, almost it's gonna break me." And what was your most favorite?
what
Your
made you?
favorite project you
Which one
did?
made you quit? You almost like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Well,
Like,
again, I'll go.
RoboCop.
Yeah, again, I'll go back to RoboCop 2. That was the hardest, and I mean, geez, I almost had a meltdown on that show.
Oh
You
my
know,
gosh.
so
oh,
because I had so
wow.
many things going on. So
Oh,
yeah, that was very intense. What was the other
and
question?
your favorite one? And your favorite one, the best one you did, the one you're most happy about, and the one best project you did so far. So the one you say, "Yep,
Um,
that's it."
I would say I would say probably Golden Child. Golden
Really?
Child was a lot of
Oh,
fun.
Was it?
Eddie Murphy movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
hmm, wow.
Hey, Pete.
And that was animation, the knife, I
The
think.
audio working?
And you worked on the shadow. Were you on the shadow too, or were
The
you on the
Shadow?
shadow?
No.
No.
Oh
All right.
well, yeah,
And,
yeah. I did some optical stuff for the Shadow. I made some
okay.
optical projection plates for another company.
That's Pete's favorite
Wow.
show.
Yep, he's a big shadow fan. Wow. And let's see. What was I gonna say? So do you do consulting work? Do you still people ask you questions? Do you still in the animation business? You still do it, or
No, no, I'm retired from that. Again, I'm just
mhm.
working on my books right now, and I do some landscape painting
Oh wow, well,
and a lot
that's
of
good.
hiking and jogging, keep in shape.
Wow. That's good. Do you
Yeah.
do you have any more of the creatures? Do you still have Grumpy or anything left over, or did you figure
No,
something out the recently?
Grumpies.
yeah, I had a grumpy. I sold a grumpy, and I sold. I had a I had a junior character. I sold, and uh, and I had a lot of little bits and pieces from Land of the Lost, Little Lost. That all that stuff's gone away. I had a lot of other characters, the doughboys, and I still have some, doughboy carcasses, and quite a few other little things here and there.
Wow.
Hey,
And
Pete,
what would you tell anyone now trying to get into the business? What would you say to them if they're just
Don't.
getting into now?
don't. Oh, wow. So, I mean, things have changed so
Uh,
much
there's there's
digitally now. So,
there's plenty of people now in the there's so many animators. It's not funny because of computer graphics. Computer
Hmm.
graphics made it a lot easier for people to do animation, character animation, because the computer does a lot of it for you.
Yeah,
It's not
but
like the old days stop motion. Old days stop motion like what I did. I mean, you had to do everything yourself. You got no help from anything. No help from a computer.
how's so now that technology has really moved forward and done the stop motion has kind of fallen away a little bit unless it's doing some classic pieces. I'm surprised it was you were actually did something for James Bond. That was I got to look that up and make some more information on that one because I'm kind of curious how they do the reverse matte. But with all the technology and things like that, how do you feel about the way animation has moved now from classical stop motion to the digital pieces of it? What do what's your opinion on the digital pieces compared to the stop motion?
Yeah, well, the digital, of course, is very amazing. I mean, it's they can make it perfect, and they do make it perfect. Um, so sometimes, I mean, to me it gets a little old because I don't. I'm kind of a excuse me, classical kind of a person. I like the old ways, and there's something about stop motion animation where it's not perfect, and
Ah,
it has kind of a different, it has kind of more of a, to me, a more of a charm, than something that just so perfectly, slick and polished that it kind of loses a little bit of a kind of a nice character that you get from something like stop motion animation.
I'm hearing more of a art versus computer kind of thing, whereas stop motion was more of an art form, where a computer, it's an art form, but it's not as challenging as it was, and you don't get to put your
Yeah,
personal piece into it.
yes, I'd say so.
Hey,
You
Pete,
know,
do you
Yep.
have any questions now that you finally
a
joined us from the?
big takeaway. I mean, all that work, and it's definitely an art form what you do, and
Oh, it's
the
amazing.
storyboard. You write their own storyboards and everything when you do a scene. I mean, how does it? If you were to do a scene, how do you set up the scene? I mean, you have like two characters. You got to go through like the woods. Is there a lot of work before the actually work on the animation to go into it, or do you do a screen board? You
Yeah,
director.
usually we get storyboards from the production company, and the storyboard artist will sometimes they'll like Alfred Hitchcock. He had his whole live action movie storyboard the whole movie. So he's got the movie made on little panels of drawn pieces of paper. Um, so that to say that we would always have, especially for visual effects sequences where it's very critical. There's a lot of time spent on that, and a lot of money is spent on it, and you want to get it just right. So you get storyboards from the production company for each scene, so they can carefully plan it out, and then we would get those storyboards, and then we develop our scenes based on the storyboards. You'd get a description of what the character generally is doing, and if there's live action with it, what the live actor is doing, and then if there's what kind of a scenery that the character is going to be in. So we get all this information from production, and from those boards we build our shots. And sometimes when you actually take it from 2D to 3D, uh, there's things don't quite translate like you would expect. So things change when you get into 3D, and sometimes when you set up the shot, it's not always exactly how it's drawn in the storyboard. So there's some little bit of give and take that happens there when you go from 2D to 3D.
So is that like every movie where the director says, make it work. I'm going to rely on you, and they give you like a lot of leeway to make the scene happen and make it work. And did they, any movie where they say, okay, here's the green boards, do what you got to do. Um, I trust in you.
Yeah,
Just make it work.
yeah, that all depends on the director, and it depends on uh, the company that the director is working with. Like if he and who the like if the director is working with, like, say, Industrial Light and Magic, which is a very big, renowned, very highly professional, visual effects company, then the director will usually leave it up to the visual effects artist or the supervising animator to sometimes even design some of the shots, like in RoboCop. The director was very close with Phil Tippett, the our animation supervisor, special effects supervisor. So Phil would he would leave it up to Phil to design a lot of the shots. Of course, they would get approved by the director, but it just depends on the relationship and how much they trusted the effects people that they're working with.
Wow. I
That's
remember that
that's
scene from
usually
RoboCop when they were. Oh no, go ahead. I'm
ahead.
sorry. I was saying I remember the scene from RoboCop when they're rolling out all the different models and they all go crazy and they destroy each other or shoot their
Yeah,
owners. That must have been tough
yeah,
to do. I mean, I seen that one. So
yeah. It was
I mean,
pretty funny.
was that a hard shoot to do or you know,
Oh, I didn't work on that
was that a hard scene?
particular
No,
scene,
he
but
did two.
Oh,
RoboCop 2.
I didn't work on that. I didn't work on
RoboCop
that
too.
sequence. But
Uh,
uh, yeah, it's
They only
all
brought him in on 2 because 1 was not good enough for that. So we had to bring in the expert on 2.
uh, but I mean, all in all, I mean, RoboCop was good. But what did you do on Oblivion? I'm a big Full
Oh,
Moon Features fan, so
Oh,
you worked on
I
Oblivion.
just worked. Yeah, I just did a couple of matte shots on Oblivion,
Hmm.
matte paintings.
And how did you make the shot work on the James Bond movie? Now that we had
yeah,
the
that
blue
didn't.
screen and
I gotta
you
look
put
that
the
up.
mat on the piece of it looks like you're painting on a glass plate. So did you shoot on the plate and just move the form backwards, or how that shot go?
You're talking about the James Bond movie
Yes.
with the
Yes,
horse?
sir. Hmm.
Well, that was shot stop motion. It was the horse. The horse was mounted on a go motion mover, which
Hmm.
uh, which once I do manipulate the characters, move the animate the various parts of the horse, and then of the James Bond character that's on the horse, and then on the female that was behind him. Once I do all that animation, and the camera shoots it. When the camera shoots it, it's on a track. It's called go motion, and the whole model is moving during camera exposure to give it a blur. Okay, so that happens for
Oh,
every frame. So yeah, that
so
was
every
a
frame,
stop motion, go motion shot.
so it has to be moved on every frame. Then when you shoot, it has to move to show motion. Then, right?
Yeah, the whole character, the whole horse, and the riders on the horse is moved during exposure to give it a blur.
Oh wow, that must have
Yeah,
been a hard shot to do. And it just superimposed
which takes it
to the
away
film.
from so it doesn't look like, because typically stop motion animation doesn't have any blurs, and you can
Hmm.
usually tell what stop motion animation looks like because you get a little bit of a chatter, especially if the model or character is moving very fast across frame. So, but there are various ways of getting around that, of moving the character during exposure, or you set up a glass between the character and the camera. And with Vaseline, which I've done before, you can put a little Vaseline, spread it with a brush on the glass in front of the character, which creates a blur. It kind of blurs out the image. So it takes away from that hard static, frame by frame, hard
Oh.
motion in a fast moving object. But in the case of that there on the James Bond shot, that again was on a mover, a mechanical mover that would move it during camera exposure to give it a natural blur.
Okay. Also,
And,
all
and
right.
you're
So that's why you see like sometimes you see like a glow around like when you superimpose a animated scene into a movie, you see like a blur around it. That's like that's probably something like that, right?
Yeah, it could be. Or one of those other photos I sent you. I think there's what is it? Boy, Golden Child. There's another photo that I saw you had up there, which was a Purina Chuck Wagon commercial.
Oh, okay.
That's the salvage one. That's the matte painting that I did, which is that there is it's a painting of an iceberg that I painted. It's on a glass, and behind that is a live action projection, frame at a time, of an ocean water. And then I animated an animated wake on the glass in front of that iceberg to make it look like it's contacting the water and it's disturbing the water.
Holy crap.
Wow.
It's called a slot gag.
I'm trying to find the, where's
I
it?
see a lot of the
Chuck Wagon.
the animation on
There it is.
in live
So
action
that shot
backgrounds.
right there, that one right there, the Purina Chuck Wagon, that's a Chuck Wagon animated model that I have in front of me that I'm animated as the wagon and the two horses. And then we have replacement legs for the horses. And behind me, that's the front projection screen. That's the projected image of the dogs that'll be chasing the wagon. And that gets advanced one frame at a time. I animate the wagon. You advance the projector, the dogs move, you rephotograph that with the camera,
Oh, wow.
and this goes on frame by frame. And so you see the dogs chasing the wagon, makes it look like one done in one shot. It's two separate pieces of film
Whoa, I remember those.
combined in
too.
camera.
Is that you in makeup in the back? Is that because they had to shoot it during that? You had to like blend in the background or something, or is that just the lighting on you, a big shadow?
No, that's just I'm just standing in there. It's not lit for me. It's lit for the chuck
Ah,
wagon. So I'm partially in shadow and partially in light.
uh,
So that's just
yeah, I remember that
that's just showing me how illustrate like the size of the wagon. It shows like where the projected image is and where the set is in front of the projected image, and where I stand to animate it.
So those dogs were real, or they were animated chasing after the wagons?
No, they're real.
Now those are
They were
live
real, right?
action dogs on
Oh,
film projected on the
okay.
stage frame
Projected
by
on the screen.
frame.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
So you have the dinosaur book coming out, the Land of the Lost book. That's already come. Is that coming out or is it out? Where can we buy it?
No, it's coming out. It's not published yet.
Okay.
I'm currently
Oh,
looking for a publisher.
Uh,
So if you know any, let me know.
we do. Actually, we do.
we
There
do.
are. Let's see, Golden Fleece. We've had them on
Golden
the
Fleece.
show. Golden Fleece Publishing, and we've got a couple other publishers we've talked to too. Yeah, get with us after the show. We'll throw you we'll throw the information of those ones that we've had on the show at you and see if they're able to get you what you want in regards to the
Yeah,
publishing
that'd
piece.
be great. I'd appreciate that.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I would love to read something like that. I mean, I've always interested in how the history of animation or history of art in movies is progressed, and in such a short period of time. In our lifetime, we've seen so much. You know, I remember growing up the Chuck Wagon, and now we're at AI. I mean, it's just, and then
Yeah.
in one lifetime, we've gone from, stop motion claymation to having the computer do it for you by just telling it what to do. It's just fantastic. What wonderful times and things we're living in. It's just kind of interesting. But yeah, we'll put you in touch with them. And do you do any do you do any cons or Comic Cons or anything like that? Do you do any teaching or anything like that?
No, not teaching. I don't think I'd be a good teacher. um, no, I've been at a couple of Comic Cons, which
Anything
are
coming up? Or
very very interesting.
yeah. Yes, yeah, that's the best way of saying it. Yes. So, any other plans coming up? So you got that book coming. You want to get? You're shopping for a publisher for that book, and we'll try to help you out with that. And then you're writing another book. Can you tell us a little bit about that book? Give us a teaser or something for that.
Yeah, it's about it's about my whole time in the industry. From 1968 to just like 3 years ago. So it'll cover from the stop motion days. It'll cover doing not only stop motion animation but visual effects in general, optical printing, and matte shots, matte painting, building miniatures, going out to on the locations and shooting the live action plates that we use in the studio, building the characters, the armatures, the sculptures, the miniature terrains, and then it'll go through. I'll go through pretty much almost every movie that I've worked on, and television show, and commercials. There's a whole lot of stuff there, and my also what my friends that I've worked with in the industry. I'll be talking about them and how we've reacted together in all these shows and projects. So there'll be a lot of stuff there, and backed up by a lot of photographs.
Yeah.
A lot of behind the scenes photographs. So
Yeah, I would love to see some of the behind the
I'll
scenes.
have to read that.
And yeah, it's
How-
so important to have to document something like this. I mean, it's history. I mean, it really is Hollywood style history that needs to be written down and captured before it is lost in the new stuff that comes out.
That's definitely
yeah, I'm glad.
an
I'm
art.
glad I'm glad I took the time to, when we're working on these shows, always had a camera set up, and I just told people, whenever you get a chance, snap a photo. I snap a photo of people working, they'd snap a photo of me. So, and there's a lot of things that I didn't get pictures of too, but I got pretty good coverage of most, I'd say, 85% of the stuff that we've worked on. So,
Wow.
I'm glad I did.
Yeah, we're glad you did.
Yep.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
I said, it's a history lesson. And we can't wait to see. I can't wait to see that book come out as well as the very first one. So, yeah, we'll reach out and put you in touch with Golden Fleece and see if and a couple other people that we know that would probably.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, and once again, thank you for coming on. It's been a lesson in history and a lesson in just I love the story that how your mom had supported you to do this, and that's really important. And the artistry and the ability to create these things for everybody else to see. And I don't know how I'm sure you're aware, but the fans of your work are numerous, and the things that you have done for people so you can see those visuals, they can live those stories, are fantastic. I just want to say, from a fan point of view, thank you so much for what
Thank you,
you've
yeah.
done. Yeah, it's and we look
Yeah,
forward
well,
to seeing whatever else
thank
you
you.
come out with book-wise.
Growing up and
Yeah.
seeing them, it's a lot of memories, a lot of happy memories. So
Chuck
you're watching that,
Wagon
and
is now I've talked to the guy who made the Chuck Wagon commercials.
Gumby, Land of the Lost,
Those I remember the Chuck Wagon commercials, but it was just I was like, man, that was so cool as a kid.
you run into the
Watch it.
kitchen and they see him on the floor.
Yeah. It's been like I say, I've been like a kid, playing with toys. Is how I kind of explain my job.
Yep. And if it's a job that you've enjoyed, you never work a day in your life, is what they say. So it sounds like you have really never worked a day in your life. You've enjoyed everything that you've done, and we have as well.
Yep.
So thank you so much for coming on.
Even
We
Roger
look forward
Rabbit,
to-
you were
Oh, go ahead.
you were involved in a groundbreaking movie around Roger Rabbit. I mean, wow, that's a lot. That's a that was a good movie too, and that was animation
Yeah,
too.
it
And
was. Yeah, it was minuscule on my part on that show.
but
Every
it's
little bit helps.
and it's not like today. I mean, what do you have? Today, CI and computer animation. What do you think is the biggest takeaway from the animation, old school animation, to now? Is there a takeaway? Is there, besides the labor in it? I mean, do you see any difference in it? Or
Well, yeah, there's a huge difference on how it's done, and it's so carb so departmentalized now. With because you have when I was doing it in the traditional stop motion days, again, it was usually like one person, and you did everything. You built the characters, you did the stop motion, you did the camera work, you set up the shots, you did the sceneries, you had your hands in everything. So you got very well rounded. Whereas now, it's like you do in the big computer companies and these big computer shows, you do like one thing. You're just an animator, or you're an inker. You draw the characters, or you do the storyboards, or you're the director, or you do the sound effects. It's all one person pretty much does one thing. So that's to me, it was the big difference, which I don't really
Colorists.
not enthralled about. So
the personal touches, and each character had a personal touch, so it's lacking now. So it's all just
yeah,
like a
yeah,
production
it's
line.
just very different.
Yes.
It's a whole different world to me.
Yeah, it's you gone.
Not there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, I've worked in the CG world too, doing CG animation. So,
Yeah.
but it's just very, very different. And I love was the way I started off with stop motion characters.
Well, we look forward to
Wow.
Pete. You got any last words?
I don't know if you can hear me, guys, but Mr. Walton, thank you
Yeah.
for coming in, and really appreciate your insights. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you.
And,
It's been a pleasure for me too. Thanks for having me.
And we look forward to seeing the books. And once again, we'll reach out and we'll try to put you in touch with some of the publisher people we know.
Yeah.
Maybe help you out with that as well. And come on, and when you do get it published, whether it be with somebody we know or not, come on and let's talk about it. We would love to have you back on the show. We'll do a deeper dive into maybe a particular show that you like the most, or and you have the pictures or whatever else. If you want to show those with the world, we would love to be your voice for that. If it ever comes to that, that would be fantastic. We would love to have you back and talk about that. So.
Yes.
Yep. Sounds great. Let's keep in touch, guys.
All right, we
It
will
was
reach
fun.
back out. And once again, we really believe that the fans fuel the fleet, and that you fuel the fans. So we'll toast to you, sir. You're amazing, quite the artist.
Thank you.
And we really love your work. So we will keep in
Great.
touch, and we will reach back out to you right after the program and get you some contacts. Take care.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Walton. Thank you.
Okay. See ya.
Incredible history of film. I mean, the guy's done so many things, from commercials to the movies, TV. It's incredible, right, guys?
Wagon. Yeah, I still stuck with the Chuck
Yeah,
wagon.
me too, man.
As a tiny
too.
kid watching the Chuck Wagon commercial, thinking that was the most amazing video that I ever a commercial. I always thought it was an amazing video ever seen, and it was so much fun to watch the dogs chase after the Chuck Wagon. It was
And Davey and Goliath, man. I remember watching that, like all of that, all the episodes.
and
It's
then, of
actually
course,
still
one
on.
of the-
Some shows are still on. Some TV shows are still on. So
Yeah, they are.
Some
I
channels
mean,
have it
look,
on
everything,
stuff,
all of it, all of his work, all the stuff that he touched
Lost.
is incredible. It just we're just focusing on particular things that we remember that kind of just we haven't. The truth is we haven't seen them in years.
Mhm.
And I went out of my way about a month, like around Christmas time. I actually looked up the Chuck Wagon commercial because I couldn't believe. I was like, man, is that real? Did that really happen? And I found it and I was like, yeah, man, that was so cool. I was telling somebody about, dog food and the commercial and how
Purina,
cool they
yeah.
were. Yeah, and imagine that we finally got to meet the man that put that together. It's just mind blowing. But that's
Yeah.
not to say he hasn't done all this other work. We were talking about all these other movies that he did and all this other stuff is just incredible. So thank you for getting him, John.
Yeah,
I mean
John.
that was
Oh, my pleasure.
that was you, man.
I was blown away. I mean, he actually answered some pretty cool questions we had. I'm like, okay, that's how it works, and
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
part of it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
we get a
that's the
little bit behind
fandom.
the
That's how
scenes.
yeah, he created this, and people are like, how did he do that? He told us how he did it, and like, oh, for years I was wondering how they did that.
I mean, if I
Very
Yeah.
happy.
when you look at it,
Crazy.
if I would have stayed with something like that, I could have. I was growing up in Wyoming. There's probably no opportunity for that, but my stop motion experience was so exciting for me as a kid. It was just like, what did I watched stop motion and then said I want to try that, and I tried it out and I didn't do so well and I
Yeah.
quit. So, but it's just
It's something, man.
yeah.
It's something. I mean, how do it's look like we've spoken to a lot of various types of professionals in the business, and not too long ago we heard again from Chris McCauley, and what he said was, if you have a passion for something and you have the drive, you can make things happen.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, I still believe that it was difficult or different in our times. We didn't have the internet. There was no access to, meeting, finding out, reading up. Like for example, when we were growing up, guys, how do you become an astronaut?
Yeah.
Not right. It's not like by watching the $6 Million Man. You're not going to become an astronaut by doing that, right? So what are the criteria?
That's why I didn't.
Well, where do you find that? How would you and I back before the internet find that out is nearly impossible.
Mm-hmm.
And today it is. I just hope that the newer generations actually use the technology and use the information that's out there to their advantage. Because I really believe that if you wanted to be a CG artist or a visual effects artist, if that's what you want to do, you can make it happen. You can do it. It's just going to take a drive, but you can do it. Not the same in our day, guys. I think it's a lot different.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely CGI and computers. Definitely, that's takes a lot of competition out of it. A lot of the drive.
Oh, look, Dorian.
there's still
Dorian
artists
says
who-
he wanted to become an astronaut. I don't know, Dorian. You might still be young enough, buddy. You might still be able to make it. Because once you get, there's a certain threshold age-wise. But yeah, you should go down to space camp in Alabama. I was there I went down there and did the program. Or go to the NASA one. You'll really, really enjoy it if you get a chance. So yeah, things are cool. John, again, thank you for doing what you do.
My pleasure.
Chris, you salvaged the episode, right? I mean, we had some
it was rough.
really, really major problems, major technical problems. I have a bandwidth issue, I believe. That's nothing compared to what we overcame to put IFB together tonight for everyone. I think we pulled it off well.
Oh, yeah.
And we also did our new segment, right, guys? We did IFB exclusive. We had our first episode. We overcame that problem as well. So where there's a will, there's a way. And again, thank all the fans that are watching with us now. All our supporters, all the IFBers that are on with us now, and everybody that watches it after, right? We're gonna have, we have thousands, right, John? I mean, our numbers are over 25,000, and we have a lot of followers
Yeah.
that watch afterwards, right? So thank you guys. Thank you everybody for watching. Please continue to give us the thumbs up
Yep.
and tell your friends about it. Stranded Warrior is coming along, guys.
Oh, yeah. If you haven't had a chance to check some of the videos, we'll bring them up.
Yeah.
I got my
We'll have
T-shirt
them with
today.
me. Got your what?
Oh, you did.
Your sweatshirt?
I got my sweatshirt. Yep.
Cool.
I got
Excellent. All right, the perks basically. The only thing we have left, everybody, is we have two things. One of them is the script itself.
Yep.
The script is in state of flux. To be extremely honest with everyone, we're continuing to do some edits that need to be done so that we can be competitive in the film festival circuit. And there is an audio that we did a cold reading, a table read.
Table read.
So that's going to go out to our top two contributors, our co-producer and associate producer, Doug Henry and Brigitte.
Story before it gets released.
Yeah, you guys will get to hear the whole story, the way we had originally conceived it.
Yep.
And we're probably going to end up going back closer to that, just for the sake of time. In terms of competition, we truly believe that this project, guys, has potential to go and be competitive in film festivals that are open to us. That are open to the sci-fi genre. So we are going to make ourselves as competitive as possible. And then we're going to have a director's cut with the help of Chuck. Yep, Chuck Davenport has promised that he is going to also do a director's cut, which will be the longer version, not the competitive version. Not because the scenes are bad, not because the acting is bad, but in the world of film festivals, if you're working a short, it truly has to be a short. It cannot be 20 or 30 minutes long. It will not be programmed into a festival. They will knock it out immediately. Okay. And we didn't work this hard to do that. I mean, John, you were there in the trenches with us. Chris, you and I have been, sweating and just trying to get this thing done. It will be done with the help of Chuck and everybody else. So, stay tuned to Stranded Warrior. Chris?
Yep. Yeah, so, take a look at the Stranded Warrior. There's some good video clips there. Mm-hmm. We'll probably see some more in the future. We just released, we had a sound person get all the audio, so we just released that to Chuck, so he has all that. And Pete's laughing about something. What's up, Pete? Yep.
Dune 2 will be out before the Stranded Warrior. Hurry up.
That's gonna be Baz.
We're working on it, guys. We're working on it. It's happening. I promise you that with the work that Chuck is putting in on this and all the CG team that's working behind the scenes as well, you will not be disappointed.
No.
The acting that went into this and the details and the everything that we did to make this happen, you will not be disappointed.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Killed us.
Yeah,
but
it's an emotional scene that's going to be surprised. It's good.
Oh yeah, it is very cool. So you guys will see, man.
We'll get it to you.
I want to see how many awards it's going to get. That's interesting to me. How much awards? It's going to win something.
Sure
I know that, but
it's going to win.
See how many. It's going to be cool.
Well, look, guys, I'm going to share the fact before we close that I'm doing the 48-hour college film competition this weekend, and so stay tuned for a short that we will be. I'm going to be involved in producing. I'll be assistant director on it, and helping with the creative team and helping to write it. And we're going to have a lot of fun. I'm representing LaGuardia, and there's a 9-person team that I'm involved with. And I want to actually thank Professor Stott in charge of the production aspect of studies at LaGuardia, for sponsoring the Fiorella team. So you guys stay tuned. We're going to have something in store. I will share the link when this goes out. It's going to be for competition. I hope you guys enjoy what we produce. We don't know what the genre is yet. We will know Friday night, and I hope so. If it is, it is. Whatever it may be, we'll give it our college best, and you guys stay tuned. I think we're gonna have some fun with it, and I hope you guys enjoy what we produce. There will be a link. It will be out there for everyone to enjoy, and if you like it, you please vote for it, and so we'll keep you posted.
Sounds good.
Cool. All right.
It's come to that time. We are slowly moving out of the broadcast transmission range, and we will get back in transmission range next Thursday. Please join us back next Thursday for another fantastic episode of IFB, where we'll talk about who's our next guest, John, we can look forward to?
I think it's I think this man's a movie producer. Let me see. I got the thing right here.
So we have a movie producer next week.
Who's up next week?
Hopefully with a better
Kevin
internet
Wright.
connection.
No, that's Philip Picassi's coming the 15th. Kevin Wright's coming the next week.
Kevin Wright.
Kevin Wright.
All right.
Yep.
Excellent.
So
Author.
join us next
Excellent,
week.
guys.
Yep, for that. And until then, we want to thank everyone out there for joining us. And once again, it is you that creates these fandoms. It's the people who create the movies and things like that, but it's you that create the fandom. So, as we always say, fans for the fleet, thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week.
Oh, thank you, Jimmy Park. I'm reading him now. I'm reading your book now.
Take
Jimmy.
care, everybody.
I'll talk to you in a couple weeks.
Take care.
Take care, guys. Thank you.